They are ready for Commissioner Don Garber to arrive in about 15 minutes. We are about 15 minutes away from Don Garber arriving. The supporters have been great throughout the year, but guys, I have one request for you. Because we are streaming live right now and the camera is right there. There we go. They can go up from time to time, but while the program is going on, please keep the flags down so that everybody watching worldwide on YouTube can see it. Thank you. Don't ever change just during the live stream. I want to tell you a little bit about the format today, about how things are going to go. In about 15 minutes, Don Garber will arrive here. That's when you make a lot of noise. Got that part? Good. He's going to walk right down where Jeff and I just walked through. Today is a town hall meeting. That means it's about you. It's about the supporters. We want you to ask questions. Taylor is here. He will ask questions. But we want all of you to ask questions. I will have a wireless mic with me in the crowd. Lindsay Patterson, our fabulous sideline reporter, is here. She will have a wireless microphone in the crowd. Kevin McCloskey, our fabulous analyst, is here. He is upstairs and will have a microphone, so if you're upstairs and you have a question, find my favorite Irishman, Kevin McCloskey, flag him down, and ask a question. This is about you, the supporters, and showing Don Garber what FC Cincinnati is all about. At this time, I would like to bring up the president and general manager of FC Cincinnati, Jeff Birding.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, thank you all for everything you do for our city. You know, our team name from the very beginning, right? FC Cincinnati. And everything that we talk about, everything that we do is this organic growth, this organic rise, this organic love for our city and our sport and how they're so connected. And I want to thank all of you, not only for what you did all year long, but thank you so much for coming out today and being a part of a very special day for FC Cincinnati in our city. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, let me say the impetus for today's visit. Obviously, with all of you in this wonderful city that we have, we totally blew people away in the U.S. soccer community and even abroad with how this lower division first-year club, you know, in flyover territory in the heartland, how there could be this amazing support for soccer. People were just blown away. And invariably, when people called, they would always say, what is going on in your city that you're attracting such tremendous crowds? What is going on in Cincinnati? And so today's visit is the start of the story, the start of our conversation with MLS, to show them what a great city we have. That's what today's been about. And we've certainly, with your help, showed them what a great city we have. So, and you're gonna hear this. You're gonna hear this when the commissioner comes up here and we start the town hall meeting. But I assure you that he's been incredibly impressed with everything about Cincinnati, starting with all of you. So this is a very, very cool opportunity today. We're gonna have a lot of fun with the town hall. I want to acknowledge, early in the process, I started getting tweets from this legendary soccer voice in our country, Taylor Twellman. And Taylor, that's a lot of love. So Taylor of those people saying, what's going on in your city? I got to get to a game. I got to see what you're building there. And so when we had the opportunity to announce the commissioner's visit to Cincinnati today, he immediately reached out and said, hey, if I can be helpful, love to come out and be a part. On his own, it's someone who loves soccer. And if you love soccer, whether you're in Europe, as I found out in England and the Netherlands, or you're here in the States, if you love soccer, you gotta love what's going on in Cincinnati, Ohio. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So thank you, Taylor, for being a part of this. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I also want to make sure everyone acknowledges, we've tried to run a professional sports team the way that you would want to see a professional sports team run. And that doesn't happen in a vacuum. That only happens if you have owners who share the vision and share the passion about creating this the right way. And we have our owners here tonight, and I want to acknowledge all of them. So we have David Thompson, Jack Wyant, Scott and Mary Farmer, Steve Hightower, George and Richard Joseph. Carl will be here in a couple minutes with the commissioner. So let's hear it for the FC owners. So, hey. Also, hey, so it's been pretty awesome because the season ended prematurely in October. But immediately, hey, hold on. But immediately the staff at FC who worked so hard to make it a tremendous first year down at Nippert immediately pivoted to make this a great visit. So I want to acknowledge all the FC Cincinnati staff. Raise your hand. And let's be honest. When we're down at the stadium, we want to see winning soccer. We want to see attractive soccer. We want to see soccer that represents this great city. And we have a bunch of our players here, guys. We also have our coaching staff who did a terrific job with us this year, led by the legendary John Hart. I know you heard from John a little bit earlier, but we're, to the extent that you were happy, pleased, excited, thrilled to support FC Cincinnati at Nippert Stadium in year one. As I said at the end of the year, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till you see the 2017 version of FC Cincinnati. So, as we get ready to get underway, let me make a final introduction. So listen, everything that happens, and the commissioners had a chance to see it today, but so much of what has happened in this community, the rise of Cincinnati, has been the result of public-private partnerships, be it the public-private partnerships up at Nippert, the public-private partnerships right here and over the Rhine with 3CDC and all the owners, right? Down on the banks, Washington Park. And a lot of that happens through committed public leaders, people who sacrifice, be it the mayor or others, who could be off doing other things and really do a great job because they believe in our city. And we have someone here who's been at the heart of those public-private partnerships for the last 10 plus years. I had an opportunity to serve with him on Cincinnati City Council during those 6 years. I was at 801 Plum Street, and he's now the County Commission President for Hamilton County. Please welcome my good friend, Chris Monzel.
We said that once or twice Thank you, Jeff. Now, thank you very much. I'm Chris Monzell, Hamilton County Commissioner. You know, I just parked outside. I'll tell you what, my car was vibrating as I was parking from the excitement in this place. It's crazy. But I want to thank you, the fans, FC Cincinnati. I want to thank FC Cincinnati. You know, I've known Jeff for a very long time, as he said. I know of no other person that I have served with in government that has worked so hard as Jeff Birding to make Cincinnati a great place to live, work, and play. We are so lucky to have someone like Jeff at the helm of this great team to bring to Cincinnati to show the world what true soccer fans are all about, and that's all of you out there today. You guys are outstanding. Soccer is so very vital to our community, just not the economic impact, but just the excitement and the pride that we have in our community. It's just so important. I have 3 kids, they all play soccer. It's just been a tremendous amount of energy that they've experienced, and I think it's something that's really, valuable to Hamilton County and Cincinnati. So I just want to thank you all for all that you've done for us and our community, and I think at this time is, do you want me to introduce? I'll get back to Jeff? Yes. Okay, all right. I'm getting a hook. I'm getting it back to Jeff. But again, thank you all so very much for what a great job. And give me one more time. FC Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati.
Hey guys, before we focus on the future, let's have a look back. This is the inaugural viewing of the highlight video of our first year.
A new United Soccer League franchise coming here to the Tri-State.
FC Cincinnati will kick its way onto the Cincinnati sports scene with a Wednesday announcement.
Cincinnati's on the upswing, and soccer gives us another platform to share our story worldwide.
Tremendously exciting day for Cincinnati to join the world sport in professional soccer. So please welcome FC Cincinnati's first head coach, John Harps.
Great ball here, great start. We understand the challenges that are facing us ahead as a new club and an expansion team, but we're willing to take on that challenge together.
Soccer fans in the Tri-State are really excited to have a high-caliber professional team here in Cincinnati, and they've shown that by buying up tickets for the home opener.
For you, it's just another game. For fans, it's not.
We are ready for play, and professional soccer has landed in the city of Cincinnati. Going over to a goalie, looking to scissor kick it, and there it is! The first ever goal at Nippert Stadium.
Key about it is that it's not a manufactured environment. It's the people are dying for this to happen.
Fans already proved that Cincinnati is quite a soccer town.
Might have only been FC Cincinnati's second home game, but attendance is already breaking records.
Absolutely incredible. I think it clearly shows that Cincinnati is easily ready, for this market for soccer. People are noticing.
Comes up with a big save. And there it is! A goal for Jimmy McLaughlin. That one is in the net. Here comes Corbin Bowen to Eric Stevenson. Stevenson all alone. And just like that, a goal! Bullock with his left foot into the box. Barry puts his head on it and puts it into the net. The Aussie gets his first of the year.
We've really taken the city by storm, and we're obviously so grateful for the way the community's embraced us in our first year.
35,000 people will come here tomorrow to watch a soccer game. Just think about that for a second. 35,000 people in Nippert Stadium to watch a soccer match. That's how far and how quickly FC Cincinnati has come.
A team from the English Premier League comes here to play FC Cincinnati.
Well, I understand it's going to be the biggest attendance for a soccer game in Ohio. I don't know if that's correct, but it's amazing, and we're very proud to be part of that.
For the first time ever, an English Premier League side plays in the city of Cincinnati in front of the largest soccer crowd ever in the state of Ohio. Nicholson wanting to let it rip. He will with his left foot. And wouldn't that have been a special moment?
It wasn't about the football, really. It was about this club and the way that the whole place was unbelievable tonight. never experienced anything like it in my life.
The largest crowd to watch soccer in the state of Ohio ever.
It's unbelievable. Seeing going up against these guys, it's so unbelievable. Dream come true.
You know, to see this occasion and to see the way they responded tonight, what a brilliant, you know, really advertisement for our city. You know, the way that we support, you know, fans, the sports. It's absolutely incredible.
Young, old, and everyone in between. It's clear the support is here in the Queen City for FC Cincinnati.
There it is. The whistle and the River Cities Cup is staying in Cincinnati. A 2-0 victory for the orange and blue, and 3 huge points for John Harps and his crew.
You really have to continue to win to really try and propel yourself closer to the top. So this, you know, this game coming up is huge because we're going to have to win to try and stay, you know, close to that mark.
They are dancing in the Bailey at Nippert Stadium. 3 points for the home club, and FC Cincinnati back into third place.
FC Cincinnati, quite the run in its first season in operation, and today they find themselves with a home game in the playoffs.
So we are underway, playoff soccer in the Queen City at Nippert Stadium. Foley working in transition, leaves it for Stevenson. Stevenson with a big right foot, and a goal! Eric Stevenson with a brilliant strike. A new USL playoff record today here at Nippert Stadium, which we knew would happen. What is that number? 30,187.
This is not the end. This is the beginning.
You see our first playoff game at home in Nippert Stadium, 30,000 plus. I mean, I think not just around the country people are shaking their heads. I think all over the world they are.
The support was there from the first game, but 30,000 today, wow, what a statement.
You know, from my perspective, I don't sit there and think about what I've done or what I've accomplished. It's more about what we've done. You know, we're all in it together. And so, you know, a lot of work going forward.
We proved once again that this is a major league sports town. We were confident of that from day one. And I don't think there's anyone around the country or internationally in the soccer community who has any doubt about Cincinnati being a great sports city. This is not going to be the end of the story. We're still at the beginning of the story for FC Cincinnati.
Let's give a great FC Cincinnati to our owner, Carl Linder III. FC.
Wow. What a turnout. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. Thanks for joining us today. What another historic special moment for FC Cincinnati, right? Thank you all for an incredible year also. It was fun watching that video. What an exciting year, and you all made it possible. It's been a great day. I think we're tiring Don out a little bit, but it's been a busy day. We've been to a tour of Nippert Stadium at University of Cincinnati. Don and his group did a city tour with our community leaders and a whole lot more. We're thrilled to show off our great city of Cincinnati. And I want to welcome the MLS Commissioner Don Garber to Cincinnati. Yeah. Well, I know, before I let Don talk, I got to say a few things about Don. Don was named Commissioner of the Major League Soccer in 1999, creating a premier professional soccer league in the United States and Canada. Yeah. During his tenure, MLS expanded from 10 to 23 teams. Added 20 new owners and secured long-term broadcast agreements with ESPN, Fox, and Univision, and major broadcasters throughout the world. Garber also led efforts to develop more than 15 soccer-specific stadiums in the United States and Canada. And Don has a great philanthropic heart and serves on numerous professional and philanthropic boards, including the Executive Committee of the United States Soccer Federation. So join me in giving a warm Cincinnati welcome to Don Garber.
Hold it for a second. Hold that for a second. Okay, folks. So we're going to have some fun here with Taylor and John and Carl. But before we get started, I just wanted to say a couple of things. For almost 21 years now, we've been trying to build, and some of you have heard this a little bit at the bar, and I appreciate the beer and coming out to see me. We've been trying to build what we call a soccer nation in our country. And what that means is that whether it's in any city, in any community, in any state, whether it's here or it's in Canada, that we could show the world that we know this game, we love this game, we can play this game, and we could have fans that rival any fans anywhere in the world. And all of you have proven that in a very, very short period of time. I know many of you might be fans of the women's national team who be part, there you go, or be part of the American Outlaws that support our national teams. But what you've done here in your city is really remarkable, and you should be incredibly proud of the support and love and passion that you have for your team. On behalf of all of us who are part of the game, we want to really thank you for that, because it shows that we're serious about building this game. And I want to start by saying that in order to make it work professionally in any sport, but certainly in our sport, it starts with committed owners. And what, Carl, what you and your family have done is absolutely incredible. And Carl's brought together great local partners, and that's really important. So it's not just about one person and one family. It's about getting people from all over the city and all over the community to be a part of building the sport. Some congratulations to the rest of the partnership. And he also brought in Jeff. Now, Jeff's a guy that's been, you know, there you go, Jeff. Because it just takes a village. It takes fans, it takes a great front office, it takes great owners, but it also takes great players
and a great coach. So I've known John Hark since the day that I came into MLS. My first year, he was still playing. So this is what we're trying to create from the grassroots on up. Somebody who's played in the community, who's played at college, who's gone over to star in Europe, who's played for a national team, and has won a couple of championships in Major League Soccer. So John, great credit to our sport. So before we get to Taylor, who we're so proud of, just a couple of things I want to say. Earlier today, we met with ownership. We've toured the city. We've met with your city leaders, a great mayor who loves this club and really loves this city. And we also met with a number of different business groups that are trying to build this city and try to bring it up to be one of the great shining lights in our country. And I haven't spent a lot of time here, though I have been here in the past. And my tour throughout the city today really, really impressed me. So I'm very excited to be here. And now,
you hold the mic.
I'm holding the mic, and I'm
I'm
hoping that
it's
Taylor
the only time I'm going to allow you to hold
doesn't
the mic.
embarrass me. I think I got it.
So we've got 3 of my coworkers out here. So where's Tom, Lindsay? Tom, raise your hand. Where's Lindsay? Lindsay's over here. And we've got Kevin up top. Kevin, raise your hand. So, like I told you guys before MLS and Commissioner Don Garber showed up, town halls are about the family of Cincinnati, the Cincinnati city. It's about you. I can ask all these questions all you want. Don's here, rare opportunity. Ask whatever you want. I will get it going a little bit, but if you're shy, find Tom, find Lindsay, find Kevin, and make this worthwhile for you, because you guys see me on air enough. You don't need to listen to me to ask questions. All right, fair enough? All right, but before we get going, Don, you sat down, and I looked at you, and you had a massive smile on your face. Are you surprised at all that you're in Cincinnati, Ohio right now?
Well, is this on?
Can we?
You're damn right it's on.
Now it's on. Get on?
Is it on? No? What's that? I gotta turn it on?
Now it's on.
Some technical difficulties. On now?
There it is.
Okay. So wait, can we continue?
Yeah.
So, not surprised. I've said earlier, and I'll say to the group, what's going on in our country with the growth of this sport is remarkable.
Agreed.
The fact that this team can be able to achieve what it's achieved in 1 year is just something that speaks to how far this country has grown to support the game. The fact that it is such a short period of time, and to have the numbers that they've had, to have the passion and the great brand that I think is absolutely fantastic, that does surprise us. So we're very impressed, and I think you folks should be really proud of what you've been able to achieve.
All right, so I'm going to get right to the point, because that's the only reason why you guys should be extremely proud. I was asked the question, I think 1,500 times in 10 minutes. What is the timeline of MLS expansion?
Trying to speak as a big family here. Everybody knows that we're going to add teams 25 through 28 from 2020 and beyond. Teams 21 and 22 come in next year in Minnesota and in Atlanta. 23 comes in Los Angeles. 24 might come in Miami.
They started drinking at 6:30 this morning. They're good.
So I'm going to coin a expression that Jeff taught me. This is the beginning of a new chapter. So it starts with this visit today. I think it really started with what you've done with your first year in the USL. We all have a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of things that we have to figure out as a league. And there's a lot that needs still to be done here to continue to build this club, to continue to grow its fan base, continue to figure out what its long-term stadium solution is. What I will say is that I am very impressed by what's happening here. Cincinnati deserves an MLS team. But every journey starts with a first step, and the first step was today. There you go.
Awesome. So, how many trips have you did? So this is your 17th year. 17 years, by the way, and everyone considers Don Garber an NFL guy. I want everyone to know 17 years is longer than he's ever been with the NFL. That is quite an accomplishment. That's from a personal side, but from all you guys, the sport has grown. I ask you that.
Yeah. So I follow I'm on social media. You folks know I follow many of you. So these are the good days, Taylor, but very soon they're going to be booing me and they're going to be We're going to suspend John for making comments about our officials. And you guys they will be haters.
Yes, they were. I bring up your 17 years in MLS, though. If there's one thing you're most proud of, what is it?
I think it's this kind of. I don't have a. I'll think quick on my feet here. It actually is this. I think it's that we intended to try to build relevance and to build a passionate soccer culture. I used to I told this story to a group earlier today. I'd sit on a plane and people would say to me, soccer's never going to make it in America. It would piss me off and say, how do you know about what the future will look like? No one says that anymore. Soccer has made it in our country. And I think the two guys who played in the league and have been part of the sport before, I even got into MLS. There's been a lot of work that's been done by a lot of people to get us to this point. And I think MLS has been a big driver of that soccer culture. I was at the U.S. soccer game. The men's lost to Mexico, unfortunately, in Columbus. And Dan Flynn, somebody that you know well, Dan Flynn, who's the CEO of U.S. Soccer, when we were looking at the crowd, he said, we really have MLS to thank for this. And that's this idea that it's good to be a fan. It's good to support your club. It's good to support your country. Right? What's that? I don't know what he said.
He said, give us a team. So, while we are still shooting and having a good talk, where's Lindsay? Raise your hand, please. There you are. Do we got a question?
I do.
We have a question. About time. Let's go.
We're going to start with you.
I'm ready. So Don, right? The MLS is all about international branding and expansion. And I'm saying, as an Englishman who has been brought up with a love of the beautiful game, Cincinnati has it in abundance, and they are ready to rock and roll in the MLS. Now, there is a very important question that has been floating around, and I understand that Taylor's favorite color is orange, and Cincinnati in general, we have 3 colors you can pick from, right? And there's a guy called Andrew Wiedemann that really had a burning question for you, and he wants to know, what is your favorite color, Don?
Too long. I ain't answering that question.
No question. It's
that
black.
Wasn't really
Gotta get to the point.
We've got to get to the point. But, I know that, you love culture within the game, and there is a culture within the Bailey, and unfortunately, Lindsay has found herself in a position where, ladies and gentlemen, you ready? She's gonna be here.
done with soliloquies and.
I thought that was going to be more of a
was
question.
there a question in there?
Kind of.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Not really.
That was a long-winded.
It's all right. All we know is that we need an MLS team, and we are deserving of an MLS team. And we've taken one step. We'll take two. We'll take three. We'll take
Tom, you
four.
got one?
Don, we love you.
Well done, Tom. You got a question over there.
I think we do have a question. Do we have an actual question? Okay, here we go.
Commissioner Garber, a lot's been made about soccer-specific facilities in MLS. At the moment, FC Cincinnati does not have one. Having toured that facility today, what are your feelings on the current situation in Cincinnati and where we're playing?
Good question.
That's a good question. That was a question.
Without Nippert Stadium, you don't have what you have today. So I think it's done really well for you, and I think the building and its relationship with the college has been great. You had it large enough where you could have your Crystal Palace game, which resonated around the world and impressed folks back in England. So I think for now, it's a great solution. If we could wave a magic wand, we'd love to have soccer stadiums downtown that are appropriately sized in every market. That's not always the situation for us. We've got some teams like Seattle that play in a football stadium downtown and have 42,000 fans a game coming. So I think for now, Nippert's been great, but you've got lots of time to figure out whether or not that's your best long-term solution.
I think that's a good question. I would actually add on top of that, because I was asked a lot by you guys today, and I was honest. I said, I don't really know. When you go through your criterion for MLS expansion, what are the top two things you look at? Is it stadium? Is it facilities? Is it fan bases?
Well, it's really three things, not two. It starts with ownership.
Okay.
You have to have owners that believe, that are committed, that want to create a legacy in the community, believe in our sport, and want to help be those pioneers that will build the sport. Our founding owners and everybody else has been part of that community. And then you need this. You need a city that supports the club, that's got great fans and passionate fans, and you got to have the right building. And by the way, that actually is in that order.
Yep.
Because you could have a great facility and you could have a great market. If you don't have a good owner, it's not going to work, and then vice versa. So, great owner, great city, great stadium plan.
How important is it, with you being commissioner now for 17 years, and you and I have had some great discussions about rivalries, how important is it that Columbus, Cincinnati.
I think it's very important. Rivalries are a big part of the passion. We got a fan here from England. You got 5 teams in London. Yep. You've got Madrid with two teams. Yep. You've got just about every major soccer city in the country has got multiple teams. So we're not talking about 2 teams in Cincinnati.
Right.
We're talking about 2 teams in the state. So I think it would be great. Get an interstate.
Taylor.
Question.
Hi, Mr. Garber. First of all, thank you so much for joining us here in Cincinnati. We really appreciate it. I'm going to have a long preface to an easy question. First of all, Mr. Birding, thank you so much for putting a great team together. Mr. Twellman, thanks so much for being here. And first of all, thank you so much for the ownership, for putting a great team for all of us who are soccer fans here in Cincinnati. And Mr. Harks, Coach Harks, thank you so much for everything. Mr. Garber, as fans, what can we do to help you bring an MLS team here to Cincinnati? Thank you so much.
I remember, this obviously isn't the first kind of setting we've had like this. I could remember in Philadelphia, we had a meeting with a group that was called the Sons of Ben. Now, they came together before they even had a team, and you already have a team. But being able to go and build this group to become not 1,000, but not 5,000, but 10 and 20,000. And then I will say, get out in the community. When I'm on social media and I'm following supporter groups, it's not to see what nasty things they're saying about the league. It's what they're doing in the community. And this group can go and can take our sport and take your club and leave a legacy behind even before you're in MLS. And that's what's going to set our sport aside and give us the point of difference against 2 major league teams that have been here for a really, really long time and are really successful through their life cycle. Not as much today maybe than a few years ago. Commissioners got to stick together. So get out and build your supporter group and go out and do some things in the community so that the rest of the soccer public can pay attention to that, because we're going to change our country by having our sport be more powerful, more meaningful. It's diverse, it's connected, it's socially responsible, it speaks the way our country wants to be, and I think you guys can be a part of that movement.
Lindsay.
Yes, Kale has a question right here.
Hello, Don. Before I finish, just hold yourselves. Why might FC Cincinnati fail to become an MLS team? And then, actually, Jeff, could you tell him why that's not going to happen?
So, I will say, we were just talking on the way from the Enquirer, and I was talking about my opportunity to serve with John Cranley and Chris Monzel and others for 6 years at Cincinnati City Council. And he said, well, what happened after 6 years? Did you lose? And I looked at him and said, I don't lose. So, listen, we're not just a city of believers, we're a city of doers. And so, when what is great about this city is that when people have vision, this city comes together, the business community, the civic community, the fans, the population, we come together to get things done and make this city great. And that's what all of you, that's what we did this year. That's what we represent, and that's what we're going to continue to do. We will continue to do it.
How do you follow that one up?
I can't.
We don't.
He's good.
We don't.
We'll toss it back in the crowd.
Tom, we got another one?
Yes, sir.
Hi there, I'm James. So, easy question. Why
Hold on,
wait?
everybody be quiet so we can hear the question.
Why wait until 2020?
That's
Town hall.
That's our timetable. No answer for that one.
Taylor.
You gotta have a harder question than that.
All right, we have another one over here on this side.
So in Washington Park, John Harkes joined us for a little bit of free pizza on Giving Tuesday. And a question was brought up as, what is the fastest land mammal?
Cheetah?
I believe it is the cheetah. That
There
was
you go.
what our consensus was, but no
We
one
have
was
officially
willing to
digressed.
waste a
Lindsay,
I
you
need
got a
more
question?
meetings like this one.
We'll
Do we
move
have
on.
a real question?
This is another real question.
Okay, good.
Brendan right here.
Yeah. Hi there, guys. I actually have a question for Jeff as a representative of the front office staff. I'm Brendan, one of the members of the Pride here. We're really happy to be here. Part of being a co-founder in a supporters group is fully committing to your local team. So I'd like to return to the Columbus rivalry. And there's a lot of us who, the closest we could get to high caliber soccer in this city before this team was Columbus Crew. And I'm wondering if the front office would be willing to commit to a 1-for-1 apparel exchange. So you turn in your Columbus Crew jersey and you get an FCC jersey. Turn in a hat, you get an FCC hat. Turn in a scarf, you get an FCC scarf. Because we're ready to commit to you. We're done wearing those Columbus jerseys anyway.
So let me say, if you remember on August the 12th of 2015, when we stood at Nippert and we launched FC Cincinnati, we said this has always been a great soccer community, and one of the things that we're most excited about is you finally have a pro team of your own. And the commitment from our ownership from day one has been to bring professional soccer at the highest level to this city. And because the point is soccer is about community. It is so organic. It is so authentic. The commissioner spoke of that. And so it was my family is a soccer family. We went to Crew games. and we want the Crew to be successful because we want to grow soccer. Hold on. Because we want to grow soccer in this country. And all of us, we are all in that together. We are all in that together. And so, but as the commissioner said, one of the great things about professional sports is regional rivalries. Whether it's the crosstown shootout or high school rivalries or Ohio State, Michigan, or when the Reds play the Cardinals or when the Bengals play the Steelers, regional rivalries fuel passion. They fuel pride in our communities. And so we are very respectful of the Crew. They've been at this. They were one of the founders. It's where it helped it began. And so, listen, if we have the opportunity to do some fun things with the Crew, we would love to do fun things with the Crew because that's what brings passion and that's what makes it fun.
Jeff.
Well said.
Taylor.
Don, it leads me to something because I remember 10 years ago I was playing and you and I were sitting in Dallas before MLS Cup. So I'm going to ask you to look down the road 10 years from now. What is your vision or what is Major League Soccer's vision when 10 years we're at Cincinnati, we're at a game? Like, what is that ultimate vision?
So let me kind of bring you expression inside baseball, bring you into a story about us bidding for the World Cup and how it led to us creating a vision for the league. So as you all know, we tried to bring the World Cup to the United States in 2022. And like you, Jeff, we're not really used to losing, right? We were bidding against Qatar. And we had an amazing bid. We were bidding against a country that had, 120 degrees in the summer, had a couple 100,000 residents, and I really did not think that any of us thought that was not something that we would not prevail over. And when we went amongst our owners to raise the money to fund the bid, we sat down there and said, and this was in 2010, by 2022 we wanted to be thought of as one of the top leagues in the world. And I could remember some of the more founding owners saying, well, what do you mean by that? What we meant was we wanted to be a league of choice, so that if you were an American if you lived here in this country and you're watching the Premier League, we get that. You're going to watch a Man U play or watch La Liga, watch Barcelona.
Yep.
But we want you to be a fan of our league. We want players like you and coaches like John to make our league a league of choice for coaches and broadcasters and technical directors. And mostly we wanted to be thought of as one of the top leagues. That means top attendance, top revenues, top broadcast ratings, and that's our goal. So 22 is less than 10 years away.
Yep.
We're hopeful to get the World Cup in 2026. That's 10 years from now. We ought to be able to achieve that. And this is going to sound like nationalism, but nothing can stop our country when it sets its mind to doing things that are achieving great goals. And that means we gotta have more teams, we gotta have better players, we gotta be more attractive to the international player, we have to invest more in youth development to have more young American kids who can grow up and make a professional living in our league. You know what the minimum salary is today versus when you came out of college? All that has got to come up over the next 10 years. I am absolutely convinced that people will think of us like they think of the top
We had
leagues.
1 million viewers watch Montreal, Toronto in Canada.
Right. It's pretty amazing.
1 million viewers. Tom, you got a question?
Let's first go up to the balcony.
Yeah,
Kevin wants to
Don,
be
it was
involved.
just, you kind of answered it towards the end of that answer, but my question is, how do we then keep the best American players in the league? Has the league kind of looked at a strategy or a plan on that? Or?
Well, I'm a lone voice on this. One of the challenges in this job is, you got to have a North Star. You got to have a laser focus and push through all the challenges and all the naysayers, all the difficulties to get to that North Star. And that's tough when you're leading an organization. So for me, and I'm probably different than almost everybody here in the room, I want every young American player to play in our league. I don't believe that it is a positive sign to have Christian Pulisic playing in Germany. I want him in MLS, right? Now we have to have a league that he wants to play in. And we have to have a league where he could earn the same living that he would earn in Europe. We have to a league that will be as competitive for him as Dortmund is. And all of those things have to be our goal. So for me, we need to do everything we can to create the league that the best young American players want to be in and can deliver on their values. And I believe that's what we got to be very focused on.
Thank you. Don, thank you for that. I have one question here for Jeff Birding from his son as well.
Hey, Dad.
Uh-oh.
You said earlier you never lose. Well, then why did I beat you last week in basketball?
I didn't hear what he said. You said you never lose, but I beat you in basketball last week. To Jeff. Not to you. That's Jeff's son. Tom, you got a question?
And Jeff just grounded his son. Yes, we have questions. 2 of them over here.
By the way, before you ask that question, just so I could, it's a public forum. So I want to be very clear here. If we could have a player that's an American player that's a star at Barcelona or a star at Man U or a star at Real Madrid, and he is what Bale is, pick the player, what Cristiano Ronaldo is, that would be great for us. But for me, and I look at all this stuff, for me, we have 3 players that are starting in the Premier League today. We've got a lot of players that are over there. And you might not agree, John, and we've talked about this a lot. When we have our players starring at that level, I'm okay with that. But if they're not playing there, they should be playing here and develop them, make them better, pay them what ultimately they could earn.
So,
I want to
Tom,
be clear on that.
before you ask that question, I want to add, because we've seen it in closed rooms, Don, but how important is player development in this country, and particularly for FC Cincinnati? If they're coming into MLS, that player development's got to be a huge part.
So, this is a stat for soccer fans. We're spending more on player development than we spent on player salaries as a league.
Say that again, because everyone on Twitter right now doesn't believe me when I say that.
Paying more as a league, investing more in youth development that we were paying in player salaries 5 years ago. So that's an amazing investment on behalf of your owners. And eventually, Carl and his partners will be doing the same thing. I know Jeff is talking about doing that already. Youth development is the bottom of this mountain that we've got to climb. You can't start at the top. I mean, anybody who's ever climbed a mountain, you don't throw the hook to the top. You start at the bottom and get yourself up. And that's what we need to do with player development.
Tom, you got a question, bud?
Yes, we have 2 questions.
Cool.
So, Commissioner Garber, you were speaking about a North Star, a leading star. We have one here in Coach Harks. And how much does that appeal to you as the MLS Commissioner on the quality of a franchise and what we could be into the future? This is a rising star in the coaching realm.
Well, we have 2 great stories for us. So nobody asked this question, but what is it that really gets us at the league excited? And obviously, it's hard not to be excited when you spend a day here and it's all about your city, your club, and about your aspirations for MLS. But for us, it's about building opportunities for those people who've committed to the game. How many years did you play? Yeah. And how many years did you play before that as a kid? Another 10? And now he's earning a living coaching professional soccer. How many years did you play in our league?
8.
And how many years did you play, another 10 or 15
Probably
before
another
that?
10 or 15,
And he's earning a living as a broadcaster. So when we talk about where
but they don't like that choice, by the way. There's
we talk
people
about
out there that don't like
where
that
our
choice.
league is, hundreds of ex-MLS players are employed in the game. So that's not something that fans think about, but it's building an ecosystem for the sport. And all of that is, that one person is touching all of you. That one broadcaster might motivate somebody who's 14 years old and is going to decide whether or not they want to be a professional player, and they're wondering whether or not this is the right path. They look at Taylor Twellman and said, hey, maybe I can play in the league, I could be a professional, and maybe I could pursue my dream to be a broadcaster and be employed by either ESPN, Fox, or beIN Sports, or Univision. So all of those dots get connected, and that's really, really important as you're trying to build more than just a league of 20 or 24 or 28 teams. It's building this culture I talk about.
Tom,
and
you
we're
got
really
next
proud of both of them. They're really great representatives of our country and our league.
Here we got one
Tom,
more
you got
over
another
here.
one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Commissioner Garber, welcome to Cincinnati. Love to have you here. And got a question for you. According to your timeline, you're saying it's at least 4 years before Cincinnati could obtain membership to MLS. What if the Cincinnati ownership goes out and purchases an existing team and moves it here? How would that speed up the process? How would that speed up the process?
I'm gonna do exactly what you would expect me to do. I'm gonna punt on that one, and I ain't answering it. Good try though.
We got another one over here.
Lindsay, got a question.
Olivia, right over here. Hi, I just had a question. I'm a huge MLS fan, but in this region, there's nothing. You go out to the West Coast, and you've got Portland, you've got Seattle, you've got 2 LA teams. By the way, go Seattle. And like in the East, you've got 2 New York teams now. You've got New England, you've got Philadelphia. Here we've got Columbus and nothing else. Why isn't there anything in this region?
You know, it's actually a good question. So when you think about expansion, you know, Taylor asked a question. It's what do you look for? You look for owners. You look for the right market. You look for the right stadium. What goes into the right market is geographic locations. So when you're a pro sports league, you try to have as many connecting concentric circles because those connections create this national fan base, which is what we need. If you look at our television ratings, they're not as high as they need to be. If we want to bring a Christian Pulisic back, you got to pay him $10 million a year. In order to do that, you're going to have the right television deal. To do that, you have to grow your national fan base. And all of that requires concentric circles being connected. And we are not covered in the Midwest as much as we are on the coasts. It's why I'm here in Cincinnati. It's why we've been looking at St. Louis. It's why we are focused on...
Whoa, 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 whoa!
But that was a good question. It is. It's actually
Tom, you got a question?
part of
come
the
back over
equation.
here.
Yes, sir. Mr. Garber, I know you've been being shown our beautiful city today by some great Cincinnatians and Jeff Birding and Carl Lindner. And I'm just curious, what specifically have you been impressed with about the beautiful city of Cincinnati?
You know, it's another good question. It surprised me. I think the most fun I had today beyond really, and it sounds like commission speak, but it's fun to hang out and do things like this. This is a lot more fun than what we do as a day job. I was really impressed by the redevelopment of the downtown.
Yep.
You know, I'm a student of I'm really a student of this concept of the post-industrial development of some of America's great cities. And when you go in the over-the-Rhine section and you see, that to me looks like Soho, it looks like Tribeca in New York, it looks like these great warehouse districts that are taking place in other parts of our country. And that just happened. That took great leadership from your political leaders. It took a great amount of energy and money from your corporate community. And they all came together and they did an amazing stuff with great architecture. And you see pubs and bars and restaurants. And so I thought that was super cool. I also spent time in the Cincinnati Incubator group that is creating opportunities for young startups to be supported and funded and energized by the support of this city. And I was really impressed by that. I think we should do a sports version of that at MLS. Well, those are two things I was impressed by.
Lindsay.
Yeah, Brad has a question.
Yeah, so with the seemingly imminent delay of Miami to 2019, is there concern of LA entering as a single team in 2018 with nobody on the East Coast Eastern Division to balance?
You know, you never want to have an odd number of teams coming in because it creates imbalance. You know, you have to have bye teams, right? So it's not optimum, but we haven't made that decision yet. So we've got some time to figure that out.
I'll cut it off.
Taylor, I have a question right here, up here. Don't keep looking. To your right.
Kevin, where are you? Right there.
If we could ask you just to take off your MLS hat for a moment. News today that the Cosmos are going to cease operations next year certainly puts the NASL into some deep questions. As far as growing the game in the country, any comments about what the loss of the second-tier league may lead to nationally?
Yeah, so it's a good question. It's probably playing into the discussion that all you folks are trolling me on social media about promotion or relegation. You know, I think it's we're trying to lead this movement, and we do view MLS as a movement to grow the sport. So anything that's negative in our sport is bad for all of us. So I had not, by the way, been running around all day today. I hadn't heard that they were ceasing operations. So is that true?
It's not 100% confirmed. So the reports are
clearly,
out there.
clearly weakness, right? And that weakness isn't good because that when we're going to go try to get funding in the city for a stadium, and the Cosmos were going around trying to get funding for a stadium for themselves, and if all of a sudden that team goes away, that's really bad. That's the reason why we've been slow and steady and focused, conservative, and really trying not to make mistakes. And you're going to make mistakes in any business, and we've made our share. So we need to have strength underneath us. The USL has done an amazing job. When Carl said he was going to come into the USL and not in the NASL, I thought that was smart because it's a different approach that they were taking to try to build grassroots support and try to do it in a very careful way. You could never have a system where you have movement between leagues if you don't have enough strength in that pyramid. And that's going to take a lot of time. It could take a generation, or it could take longer than that. And ultimately, I hope they figure it out. And frankly, I think they will. Just everybody should know, we contracted a team in 2001. We went from 2 teams, went from 12 to 10. Yep. And here we are today, suffering and courageously sucking it up. And then those were good decisions, and here we are today. So hopefully the NASL will figure it out.
It's a good question.
That is a good question.
Tom, you got one? We got a couple hanging out by
We got one via text message.
Good.
Watching on the live stream.
Social media.
That's right. How does FC Cincinnati as a USL team currently stack up against MLS teams financially, and what can we help do to improve that?
You know, I don't know the answer to that. Jeff could answer how it stacks up. It's a smart question. I think what you could do is the continuation of my answer before. Go out and build this fan base, build its relevance. Relevance will lead to a better television deal. Relevance will deal with getting those corporations to invest more money in the club. Relevance will add to the ability to build infrastructure in around Nippert so that you have more revenue opportunities for the team. Clearly, you know, this is not charity. You know, it is a movement, but you need to have owners that can make economic sense of this so they can continue to invest. So a good question.
Lindsay.
Todd has a question.
Hi, guys. First off, I want to thank everybody for coming here. Those of you that skipped work or are currently working right now, like myself. The ownership, Jeff, everybody. I want to take a moment to thank our own Cincinnati superfan, Tom, who dresses up, paints himself. He is just the heart, I believe, of this team and our community. I think he's a phenomenal person.
Agreed.
All the
What's the
supporters
question?
groups, I think that it's a great person to have here. So that was the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing, the relegation question kind of took my fire, so thank you. But do you ever see the United States following the footsteps of England with academies that have educational aspects with the development? Because right now, players locally, I don't know if you know about the Cincinnati and Southwestern Ohio cluster. We have one of the best development programs for all of high school sports in the country. We are top 3 to top 5 in pretty much every sport. That being said, do you see the United States ever having educational aspects to academies, whether it be U.S. soccer or the MLS?
I do, and we have 3 teams that have them now.
LA, right?
LA, Vancouver, and in Toronto.
No.
Oh, and Philadelphia Union is the 4th one. So, you know, we have a challenge. We talked about it at lunch today. We have a unique challenge in our country in that we have this great system where great young athletes can get a free college education. And that's something that doesn't exist in the rest of the world. The whole university system isn't as deep and isn't as important, isn't as culturally relevant, and their collegiate sports are almost irrelevant compared to what it is in the U.S. Our challenge is, I was in Manchester City last year. Manchester City owns our New York City team. And I watched their U8 team train with our current coach at NYCFC. And let me tell you, they were really good. They were really, really good. I watch online, and you can pick it up. The Barcelona Real Madrid juniors playing a game. It's either in Nou Camp or it's in Bernabeu. If you watch those kids play, you'll be shocked, absolutely blown away, not just by how good they are, but what kind of character they have as 12-year-olds. And our challenge is, our system and our vertical pyramid just looks differently. So in order for us to compete from a national team perspective, all of our clubs need to have a university or a degree program. And these kids need to be in residence. They need to get good educations because only a handful of them are going to end up being first division pro players. And I think it would be irresponsible for us to provide that dream and take away their opportunity to get a free $200,000, $300,000, or $400,000 education. So it's just part of the path we need to figure out.
Just to add to Don's point, there's a book out there about the German Federation and how they reorganize everything. It's called Das Reboot by ESPN's Raphael Honigstein. And the first thing they did when Germany lost in Euros, number 1A on the task board was every player is educated. So when we talk about this sport growing, it doesn't mean kids don't go to college. It's just the system's got to be reconstructed and fit better for that young player coming through. Tom, you had a question, bud?
Yeah, we have one over
How
here.
about we do one or two more questions, and then this man wants to do a selfie, group photo with all you behind, right? And then we'll get that on social media. How about a couple more, Tom?
Yep, I think this one's going to be for Jeff Birding.
Thank you. Question for the FC Brass. Just wanted to get a quick update on construction process at Nippert and when we can expect Taylor to be in town next year for a national team game, once we get that field right.
We can't really share what I said to you on the phone, but let's just say I was pleasantly surprised.
Taylor knows that there's an outstanding invitation, and as soon as he's a busy guy, he's a successful guy. They want him on TV. They want to put that mug on TV, you know?
Yeah, but they hit mute. That's the problem when I'm on.
So as it relates to UC, construction began yesterday to widen the field. We'll have MLS, FIFA required pitch size. It'll be 75 by 115. So it's going to open up the game. You're going to see, obviously, we have very technical players. We're going to be a little more athletic this year, and I think you'll really see an opened up, beautiful game that'll really present an entertaining soccer, a successful soccer. So it's a wonderful improvement that's made possible by our generous partners at the University of Cincinnati. Listen, when we were trying to put this together, the very first question is, where are you going to play? And as I've said many times, if you're playing in a high school stadium, it's hard to really say that you're a professional team. So we had to find the place to play. And if it were not for Mike Bone, the athletic director, then President Santa Ono, and the Board of Trustees, we wouldn't exist. So we have an opportunity to do some additional enhancements. We obviously did the new field this year in the locker rooms and some of the player amenities. We did that this year. In 2017, we'll have a widened field. It'll present some additional enhancements for the university that they're looking to develop. So we think it's a win-win. But again, it's through their generosity, through the partnership. But we're excited. When we were there today, you could literally see construction underway. And we look forward to playing our first home game in April of 17 in that widened pitch.
Lindsay.
Daniel has a question.
I think we can all agree that Cincinnati deserves an MLS team. There are any number of cities that could also make that same claim. What does MLS look like when you get to 40, 50, 60 teams?
How about we get to 28 first?
You know, I don't think it gets to that size.
I don't either.
And I think 28 in 25 years is a pretty big league, a big footprint. But, you know, I learned that life's a long time. I don't have any idea what this league will look like when your kids are fans of an MLS team, hopefully here in this market. The rest of the major leagues are obviously bigger than 28 teams, but it took them 100 years to get, or 80 years or 90 years to get there. The last round of expansion in baseball and the NBA and the NFL was at a time when they had already been around for 70 or 80 years. One thing that we are mindful of, and the question from the NASL current challenges, you know, this is a long-term play, and if we keep focused, if we pay attention to what's happening with the sport here and around the world, we're going to get this right. And the only thing that will upset that is if we think we've cracked this unique code and all of a sudden soccer will be there faster than it's meant to be. And that's my view on expansion. Just we'll get it right as long as we don't try to get there too fast.
While we're staying on expansion, where is Detroit in their expansion? Because everyone in here wants to know about Detroit. You have asked me 1,000 times about Detroit. I'm just saying what you're thinking.
Detroit has a unique situation going on in its city.
Yep.
It's got a very strong ownership group. It does not yet have a defined stadium plan, though it has a path to a stadium plan. But I think, to be fair to the process here, we got lots of activity in Sacramento, and they should be congratulated for what they've done in the USL. And I think you're going to begin to see more and more activity happening here with the growth of this brand, and you're going to see lots of things going on in other markets. And one thing I could assure you is that we're going to be smart, and we're going to be focused, and we're going to be sure we make the right decision. So
Perfect. Tom, one more, and then we'll
Sure.
do the group
Sure.
photo, bud.
All right.
Question, first of all, thank you very much for coming. And secondly, question out of ignorance as far as the MLS is concerned. Is it more structured like Major League Baseball, where individual teams can cut their own deals and have massive payroll differences, or is it more structured like the NFL, where there is equanimity and you're more selling the product than individual teams?
That's a good question. I don't know if everybody in the room knows this, but we are very focused on ensuring that every team at the beginning of the season believes that they could win the cup. And we've had 8 champions. Dan, do I have that right?
Yeah.
Dan, 8 champions?
Be 11.
It'll be 11 this year. Got the man behind the curtain there. Dan, go wave to the crowd. So the fact that in 21 years you're going to have 11 different champions, that's a great story to tell. And there are big markets and there are small markets. Now, we came up with this idea for a designated player, not just because we thought it would be fun in 2007 to have David Beckham here. We went out and did research and spoke to people like you who were fans of the game but might not have been connected to a team. And we asked in research studies, what is it that you want to see? And they wanted to see players that had been successful on the global stage, including American players like Michael Bradley or Josie or Clint Dempsey, and they wanted them to come home. So we created a mechanism to bring the designated player in, but there's a tax on that expenditure. So LA or New York or Chicago, or pick the large market, doesn't have the ability to do anything that any other market doesn't have the same ability to do. That's something we're very committed to. It's something that I believe in. I came out of another sport where parity, which is very different than global football, I think parity at this stage of our development is really, really important, because we need to have all of our fans believe that the team they support could ultimately lift a trophy. And I think you'll see that going forward. All right.
So we want to get a photo. I brought my personal photographer. I'm just kidding. He has no idea who I am.
By the way, folks, thank you very much. I really enjoyed this.
Let's take Don Garber. So we're going to get you 4 gentlemen right here, right? And this guy's going to come here and take a... Can we get everybody here to come in? We'd like to get everybody in this selfie for social media. And then I'll take one, Don, I'll take one on, and then I'll text it to you. You got it? Yeah. Yes, yes, exactly. Actually. You're good. I'm right behind you. Okay, 1, 2. Everybody look at here. Hold your scarves up. Perfect. How about a nice round of applause for MLS Commissioner Don Garber?
Let's do a picture of you and I.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this myself.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Go down here.
Is it on? Yo, all right, real quick. For you guys, I've got a little bit, as we take pictures and take care of things, I've got a little business to take care of with you guys. This is a wonderful deal. I'm going to read it so I don't screw anything up. But in honor of Don Garber's visit, FC Cincinnati has a special pre-order for your inaugural season. Rise Together, celebrating FC's Cincinnati's inaugural season, is due out in 2017. There's a pre-order deal for you guys right now. Here it is. In the next 32 hours, if you guys pre-order the book, you enter for the new FC Cincinnati jersey raffle. The purchase of the book, limited edition, is $15. Because of me coming here, you get $15 off the book, $24.95. You can go to fccincinnati.com, or you can do it in person with Sarah Sampson. Wave, Sarah. Sarah, where are you? Sarah. Sarah's all the way in the back. She's waving. So see Sarah. Don't see me because I don't have the book. fccincinnati.com. All right, and you guys get into the raffle, the 2017 jersey. Sound good? Thank you, guys.